Hello everyone, welcome to another Narc Survivor live video. In this one we're going to be talking about how you can gain respect from a narcissist. Because if you're watching this right now, you're probably not getting the respect that you want. And you may wonder why, you may wonder why they treat you that way. And it's more about how good you are rather than anything bad that you're doing. Remember, they targeted you, they wanted to be around you, and they liked all of these things about you initially, but they wanted those things to be theirs. They targeted you out of envy. But it's something about someone who's doing well for themselves, someone who's confident, someone who has all of these hopes and dreams for the future, someone who looks good and takes good care of themselves. All of these things that you have together as a package. It's something about it that these types of people, they just love to ruin it. And of course, it's no coincidence. I mean, just look at Jim Carrey. People love to see him in comedy. And a lot of the things in the movies that he's in, it's all about him getting very angry, frustrated, bitter, resentful, vengeful. Just things going wrong for him. And that's just it, that's... Unfortunately, it seems to be wired in a lot of people that is what they like to see. And so it's especially the case with narcissists. And of course, stating the obvious is because things don't typically go so well for people. Not naturally. But for you, they do. And it makes these people feel insecure, like they're not good enough. And instead of them having to go within and reflect on that, they can just sit back and laugh at you like you're a comedian. And then it makes them feel better. And yeah, that's pretty much what these narcissists do, They disrespect you, humiliate you, mock and ridicule you, and just make you out to be a joke. They don't want to take you seriously, because if they did, then that would affect them. And so this is why they do it, because they can't just invest that time into their own lives and make anything of it by themselves. So they really just get it from affecting you. That's what makes them feel better. And of course, it is very bad what they do. It's a complete lack of empathy. Thinking only of themselves. Thinking of whatever's going to make them feel good. And it's because they're completely disconnected. They can't really see anything outside of themselves because they have all of this trauma. Especially when they see you, you're triggering them to reflect on it. So they can't even perceive of anything. They can't connect to you. It's just all about themselves. And it's all about how can they make themselves feel better. So they look at it like, well, just affect this source of my envy. And that's when they go to disrespecting you, humiliating you, and just flat out trying to just ruin your life. That's what triggers them to do that. Essentially, they just want to be you. I mean, as Professor Sam Vaknin mentioned in many of his videos, narcissistic people, they want to become you. They want to be just like you, but of course you can't both be you. So they have to destroy you. But yeah, this is the unfortunate truth, of dealing with narcissists. And yet you may look around and you may see that the narcissist has other people in their lives, and they don't treat them that way, but they do it with you. And you may also see, hallelujah, that they have attractive people in their lives as well, who also have good qualities, who also are successful, which is a bit of a miracle, but they do. And it may make you wonder, why do they not treat those people the way that they do with you? Why is it with you that they just can't resist? They just can't get enough. They want to get in, they want to cross the boundaries. They quite literally want to be under your skin. They want to be in you. They want to dominate you completely and entirely, to the point where there's just no separation between you and them. And you just don't even know who you are anymore. You can't even think for yourself. It seems like that's exactly how they want it to be. Have you not felt that way around the narcissist? Let me know in the live chat down below. Because that's exactly how I felt so many times. It's like there's not enough room for me in my own body, in my own mind. Like they want to push in, they want to get in there. They just want to jump ship on whatever they're doing and just jump in with me. That's exactly how it feels. And even though you may be constantly trying to push them out, it's kind of like you've got a conjoined twin. And it's like, no, they ain't going nowhere. It's like there's no better place out there than in with you. That's how it feels, when you're authentic, when you have a light, when you're real, you're true. They just want to get in with you. They want to be as close in with you as they can. Fusion. Narcissistic fusion. And yeah, they view you as an extension of themselves, as though you are a part of them. And that's how they regulate their envy, is by viewing it as though you're a part of them now. You and them, you are one. But then they get a bit greedy, they get a bit entitled, and then they try and push you out of your own minds by gaslighting you. And they try to push you even out of your own life. This is what they do. So no respect at all. And, those of you who may be more aware of it, you may feel like it's because what you have is so valuable. What you have is so good that they just can't resist it. So in some ways you blame yourself, and you feel like it's your fault. You feel like you don't deserve to have the qualities, the appearance, or the good things that you have. You feel like you have no right to have it. And you should just hand it over to them. You should just donate all of your organs to them. Donate all of your blood, everything. Just give them your brain. Give them all of your money. Because that's what they do, They pull you in the narcissistic fog. They make you believe that you owe them your life. And they should just get to completely dominate it. Just take whatever they want. That's really how they look at you. They look at you like an animal. Like something they can use. Even though I myself, I believe that no animal should ever be treated that way. But this is how narcissists think. But yeah, that's a brief description of what it's like, to feel disrespected by a narcissist. But now we are going to move on into talking about how you can gain respect. Because there is really only one way to do it. There's only one way that you're going to gain respect from a narcissist. The narcissist, when they found a good source of supply, when they found someone who they believe is ideal, the pick of the litter, it's as good as it gets. When they found someone like that, they want to keep you close. They want to extract from you as much as they can. And never stop. Just always keep going. Always keep giving and giving. And they never want it to end. That's pretty much how it feels for them when they're around someone who they perceive to be ideal. It's like, they're ready to open their doors for you and let down their boundaries, get more personal with you, and just try and fuse with you, share with you, because they're viewing you as ideal. That's how it happens. And that's when they start baiting you, trying to get reactions in any possible way that they can. They may begin by love bombing. If that doesn't work, then they try devaluation, triangulation, trying to make you insecure, trying to make you jealous, smearing you, isolating you, discarding you. All of these are tactics. It doesn't mean that it's the end. They're just thinking, what have I got to do to get this honey, this sweet nectar out of this person? What have I got to do to get this goodness out of them? That's how they're thinking in their minds, because they don't feel so good about themselves. They're not happy with who they are. So they want to get this from you, and this is their supply. This is their attention, validation, admiration, power, control, a sense of superiority. Nothing to do with connection. Remember, they lack empathy. But yeah, they're only ever thinking about how can they get this out of you. And when they do get it from you, this is the thing. You might think that when you're giving, eventually they're going to be happy with it. They're going to be satisfied. Eventually they're going to turn around and tell you how grateful they are. They're going to say thank you. But no, they're looking at it as though you are this extension. You are a part of them. You exist to serve them. That's their narrative. And really, they see it as everything that you are, everything that you have, because they've idealized you in their minds. That's already theirs anyway. You already belong to them. Your life already belongs to them. Everything that you do, everything that you have, that's already theirs. It's how they're seeing it. And this is how many of them, they get very impatient. And you're holding them off. And they see it as though you had no right to do that. Like you should just let them get in and just take what they want. And this is why later you see it, it's like they just switch it up on you. You see a whole different side to them. You're giving and giving, and clearly they're not happy with it. If anything, they become just really angry, more entitled, even more arrogant. And that's because you fed them now. You fed this beast. And what happens is it grows and it just becomes more arrogant, more obnoxious, more demanding. Because they're looking at it as though everything that you are, everything that you have is rightfully theirs. And you're just meant to serve them. That's how they see it. The more you give to them, it doesn't make them respect you at all. And this is why if you want to make a narcissist respect you, You've got to control your reactions. You've got to set strong boundaries. You've got to be willing to say no. And train yourself to stay calm under pressure. Because honestly, if there's anything that arouses them, if there's anything that excites them, it's when you start losing yourself, you start losing your bearings. Typically, as victims of a narcissistic abuse do, you become anxious, confused, irritable. You're unable to think clearly. And they love it when that happens. They see that as an opening, as an opportunity to gain access. So it's not ever anything where they feel bad for you, where they see you going through it, no matter how bad your injuries may be, no matter what state you're in. Unless it's life-threatening, then they may start to worry, because not because they care for you, but because they fear the loss of their supply. So that can happen sometimes. But otherwise, they're really not concerned about you. If it ever seems like they are, it's really just about their image. So you really have to stay calm under pressure, because they're trying to stimulate you, they're trying to arouse you, they're trying to get you excited. And that's why they throw out the baits. And once they get you to bite, they know they've got you, and they can come in, infiltrate. And now they're going to get validation, they're going to get reactions, they're going to take what they need. So essentially what this is when you are opening up to them, when you're being vulnerable, when you're getting emotional in any sort of way around them, it's then giving them more access to you. And then all they do is extract from you. They just take what they need. And they don't feel anything for you, of how it affects you. Essentially, they view you as a cartoon character. They see it as though at some point you're going to be able to recover. You're going to be able to recharge. And even if you don't, they've always got a narrative in the back pocket for that as well. I know I'm moving around a lot. There are a lot of distractions and everyone's flocking. I'm a hot commodity in this park right now. So everyone's after me. Everyone's shouting, everyone's chasing. But yeah, you've got to have firm boundaries around narcissists. Because like I said, they will do anything. There's nothing that they won't do. There's no cutoff for the abuse. You may think, there's certain things you never thought they would do. And then you give it time, and that's the very thing that they do. They do the things that you least expect them to do. And whatever you got in your mind that you're thinking that they won't do, you just got to give it time. I mean, it all depends on the amount of opportunities that they have. Okay, I'm gonna move again. This follows me wherever I go. Everyone gets super excited. But I'm just gonna keep on moving. I'm not gonna stop. Because your lives, your health, it's very important to me. So I want to keep putting out this information. I want to keep protecting all of you. And I'm never going to stop, no matter how many people come after me. Even if everyone in this entire city just starts chasing me down, it's not going to change anything. I'm still going to keep going till the very end. So I'm going to try moving to the other side of the park. I'm sure there's people waiting for me already. But yeah, this is how it goes. But at least, this video will be a reminder for me to not come back. Yeah, you got to set firm boundaries with a narcissist because, this is the problem that a lot of you make. I mean, well, we all make, not just you. We all make this mistake with a narcissist, is that we treat them like human beings. They're more like wild animals. They're like apes. You can't trust them with anything. You can't give them the benefit of the doubt. If you leave anything within view, where they can access it, where they can affect it, they will. Anything that they see of value, anything that they can think will benefit them in some sort of way, they will do it. And they won't think anything of it. And if anything, they will blame you at the end of it. They will blame you, shame you, and smear you for the very things that they did. So even if you're thinking, if I just give them free rein, if I just let them do whatever they want to do, that at some point they're going to be held accountable, that I can blame them for it, that I can show them, look, you did this, you were wrong. It's never going to happen. These are not grown, responsible adults. These are children. Animals. You cannot trust them with anything. And I'm going to keep walking. I'm not going to stop. There is a corner down here. I don't think anyone will follow me down here because it would look pretty weird if they did. But yeah, this is what it comes down to, They can respect other people, they can't respect you. Because it's impossible for them to resist. And especially, because you're such a nice, kind person, you give them chances, you give them the benefit of the doubt. They just see it as though they can do whatever they want. And especially when you're not setting the boundaries, you're not calling them out in it, they'll just keep putting their hands in that cookie jar. So this is why, at any moment when you're dealing with a narcissist, you've got to be ready to say no. You've got to be ready to cut them off without any regrets and never look back. And it may sound mean, it may sound cold, but this is how you have to be with them. You have to use the grey rock, you have to be mean, you have to be cold. Because that's the only thing that they understand. They don't understand love, they don't understand compassion, they don't understand respect. They will respect you only when you distance yourself, only when you walk away. So now I can think clearly now because, like I said, no one would follow me down here. But I'm sure, this is how it is for you, when they manipulate you, they control you, dominate you. It's like all it takes is just hearing the narcissist car coming down the drive, hearing their keys in the door. And that already it pulls you into that state of fear, obligation, and guilt. And it's like it's all about them. They take up so much space. Like they're the only person in the entire universe that matters now. Because that's how it had to be. That was the only way they could get their needs met, was by doing this. They couldn't get in naturally just like you. No one ever looked at them and thought that they were just naturally deserving of love. I've got some people that it's crazy how they even pretend like they just completely play dumb. Because you've got to think, I mean, if you were standing here, you would instantly know, oh, this person, yeah, they're doing a live stream. But that's how they give themselves away more than anything, these gang stalkers, is by the way that they play dumb. I mean, that's the number one thing to look for. When you see something happening, and they're like completely oblivious to it. They think that that covers them, but actually, if anything, that's the one thing that exposes them. But anyway, I'm gonna move again. It's crazy though, you look around at the park, there's no one anywhere. It's wherever I go, they just follow me. It's like if they're ever gonna feel better, it's only by getting around me. Okay, here we go. Try and find another spot here. But yeah, there's nothing that you can do to please a narcissist. There is never going to be a moment, there's never going to be a time. And you may be thinking, you know, they completely disrespect you, humiliate you. They look pretty happy, they look like they're having a good laugh. But it's all fake. If they were happy, they wouldn't respond in that way. That's actually someone who's not happy. Someone who's very insecure. Someone who's projecting how they feel about themselves onto you. You will never please the narcissist. You will never make them happy. They will never be grateful. Even if they say thank you, it's really just they want you to do more. They want you to give more to them. It will never be enough. Because this is childhood trauma. Their emotional needs were not met as children. So you coming in now, after so much time has passed, it's too late. You're not going to be able to help them. And not just you, but no one will. And this is just another reason why you really need them to respect you. You really need to set those boundaries. You really need to distance yourself and say no, because they will destroy you. It will affect your mental health completely. By the end of it, many victims don't even know who they are. They don't even know which way is up or down anymore, some of them. Some of them get triggered by their own shadow. This is what it does to us. Like you're always on edge, you're always thinking, like you have to be psychic. Like, what does this person need in this moment? What do I have to do? And they use fear to control you, so it gets to a point where the state of fear that they put you in, your body just responds automatically to it. You instantly go into fight or flight. You do exactly what they want you to do. Even if they never told you what they want you to do, you just kind of do it because you know subconsciously. Or they may just tell you don't do this. So then you begin to explore other options until they've completely annihilated all of them. But typically this is how they get you to degenerate, because they will have an explosive reaction to things that you're doing that are good. But when you're doing something bad, then they respond more quietly. So then it makes you feel like it's okay. So yeah, you got to prioritize your peace over pleasing them, because nothing you do is ever going to make them happy. Even though sometimes, when they got one over you, it seems like they're in a state of grandiosity, like they're so happy now. but it's not real. It's still dependent on your reaction, and it always will be. They'll never have anything outside of you or anyone that isn't dependent on someone's reaction. It will always come from the outside. Their thoughts, their emotions, everything all comes externally. So yeah, you got to stand up for yourself when you're dealing with narcissists, because you know, these types of people, you got to remember how they ended up developing into this type of person is because they were not disciplined in childhood. I got to deal with all of this. It's horrible. You can't even go to a park without people just staring at you, smiling at you, and twerking everywhere. Oh well, I'll just walk over here again. But it doesn't matter what you do with these types of people. I mean, you can have shades on, earphones in. No matter what you do, no matter where you go, they'll just find a way to get close to you or to destroy whatever is separating you from them. You just can't get away from them. But yeah, you got to stand up for yourself with them, because they were not disciplined in childhood. So in their childhood, they had no boundaries. Oh, it's so creepy. Yeah, they do this a lot. They pretend to be like viewers because they want me to pour my energy into them. It's everywhere. But this is what it's like, you know, when you're surrounded by narcissists. They want everything to be about them. Like, for all they care, just forget about all of you and none of you matter. They just only care about themselves because of their trauma, because their emotional needs were not met in childhood. So this is why all of these people are like this. This is why they act like just little kids, because they have an arrested emotional development. They were not given the love that they needed in childhood. But yeah, these narcissists, they were not disciplined as children. So this is why they behave in the ways that they do, where they do not respect you. They had no boundaries as a child. No one taught them to have boundaries as children. So now there's only enmeshment. They have no identity. There's no, like, you or them. It's all just enmeshed. They feel like they can just be you. They can act just like you. Like I said in an earlier video, one of my earliest videos actually, it was something like the narcissist wants to be you. And, you know, that was an early concept and I wasn't entirely sure of it at the time. But it's funny, you know, how it comes back around, because after 7 years of research, that's really, to summarize it, that's really what it is. I put a little joke in there as well. Like a narcissist, they could, like, see a celebrity wearing a certain t-shirt, and they could just put one on of a similar colour, and then they think in their minds that they're that person now. And it's like, oh, so Kim Kardashian was wearing a certain colour t-shirt, and now you think you're her now? But it's like what I said in the video, yeah, maybe after a freak accident, maybe. Because that's what it's like. These people are completely delusional because they don't accept themselves. But yeah, they were not disciplined in their childhood, and this is why what you're seeing for them is really just, it's a reflection of what they experienced in childhood. Only this time they may be on the other end of it in some ways. And they really view you as their parents. So now this time they want to have the power over you. But But you can't go and tell them this. They will spin it all around. They will make it about you. They'll make it about your upbringing. And you're not going to get nowhere with them. You never take any advice from a narcissist. Unless they're self-aware, unless they're working on themselves. But even then, you know, you want to be looking for years of improvement. But yeah, you should never need their validation. Always validate yourself. Or seek support from a trusted source. Never get it from them. And that's just it, you know, if you seek their validation, if you take any advice from them, again, they're not going to respect you. They're going to think you're a fool, you're an idiot. You notice how any time that you do or give anything to them, or take anything from them, they're always laughing at you. Because they don't think that they're deserving of anything deep down. And they know that you deserve far better than anything that you could be getting from them. That's why it's always a joke to them. That's why they never respect you. Because think about it. Got another weirdo here. Let me go over this side. They literally just stop and just stare. They try and run me off the path. Absolute cowards. But this is it, you know, they were never loved in childhood. So they never grew up properly to become adults. But yeah, back to what I was saying. Back to the message that's really the priority here, other than all of this nonsense. So, okay, let me try and think now, because I'm so many distractions here, it's crazy. The crazy thing is that they actually believe that no one can see it. Well, I posted up some gang stalker video on Instagram just yesterday. Already it's got 11 shares. So people do see it. People can tell that, you know, these are abusers, these are criminals. People are aware of it. They think we're all stupid. They think we're fools. But yeah, let me get back to, you know, the thing about this, right? In a normal environment, in normal interactions, normal relationships, you give something to someone, you're kind to them, normally they would respect you for that. Or if you take something from them, if you're with them, you're together, normally there's going to be respect there. But you don't get that with narcissists because they don't respect themselves. And they don't respect themselves because they were not respected in childhood. And that's why they do not respect the separation. They do not respect your boundaries. They do not respect your feelings and needs. And as for us, as empaths, codependent people pleasers, it was the exact opposite. We were taught that our feelings, our needs do not matter. There's no boundaries for us. Anyone can come in and do whatever they like, take whatever they like. That's what we were taught. And we just have to sacrifice ourselves and be entirely selfless for other people. That's what we were told to be. And of course, you know, that then makes us very attractive to these predators, to narcissists, the gang stalkers, because their childhood was the opposite. They were taught that you can just go into someone else's life, you can treat them however you like, you can take whatever you like. That's what they were taught. Because, you know, they had a parent who was in scarcity. It may have been out of desperation, or they just weren't taught about boundaries themselves. And this is what this is. And this is why you've got to be very careful with them, and you've got to be like, no, you can't do that. And if they still keep pushing, you've got to walk away and never look back. Because this is it. Nothing's ever going to change. You're just reinforcing it. The more you go back, the more you give them another chance, they just get excited. They just think they can take even more this time. They can treat you even worse, and you're still going to come back again. The only way they'll ever get it is when you walk away. And you stay away. It doesn't mean that you walk away and then you come back a few months later, 1 year later. You can come back at the end of their lives. They're still going to be the same. You could leave them for 50 years, and then the moment the moment you come back to them, the moment they see you again, they're going to be thinking, oh, it starts again. Because you're foolish enough to come back to me. There's no time limit for it. So you've got to recognize that this is how they think. And typically it doesn't matter how long you stay away. The narcissist, as a child, as a teenager, they're really no different to when they grow as an adult, when they're elderly. They're still the same person. They never go within, they never self-reflect, they never embark on any personal growth. They just blame everyone else. They just blame you. They just take from you and then they blame and shame you. This is what they do. So you got to respect yourself first, and this is it, you know. Putting yourself around a person like that. Any of you who put yourself around someone who does not respect your feelings or needs. They don't care if you're happy, they don't care if you're comfortable, they don't care what's happening to you. It's not even a concern to them. They're just more focused on themselves. Anytime that you're around someone like that, you are disrespecting yourself and gradually over time losing yourself. When you get around someone, your feelings and needs need to be just as important as theirs, if not more. Because if you're a guest, then your feelings and needs should be even more important. And that's just it. Notice how they treat other people, their friends, who are guests in their home. They're more focused on their needs more than their own then. So they do understand. It's just with you, they look at you like a meal ticket. You're like a gold mine to them. And they see it as though they can get away with it. And then they go around and they train all of their friends, all of their flying monkeys, to just see you as a bad egg, as a problem. Because their mindset is, if you're a problem, that means that you're a lost cause. So they can just use you, like you're like a dead animal. They can just exploit you, take advantage of you. Because they know they're never going to go within, they're never going to heal. So they see it as though it's the same thing for you. And of course, when you do move on, when you do heal, then it really becomes a problem to them. It destroys their false narrative. It lets them know that it was them all along. And that's another reason why you have to distance yourself from them, because anyone who is at war with reality, at war with the truth, they're never going to be of any good for you. They're never going to be of any service to you. Because what you want, the truth, reality, is against them. Your friend is their enemy. So you're never going to be on good terms. Because they've got all of these skeletons in the closet, all of these things that they're not willing to accept. And you're trying to bring everything to light. So it's never going to be any good with them. And this is why, narcissists, you've got to get away from them and focus with people who are honest, authentic, real, genuinely trying to be better, in everything, because how you do one thing is how you do everything. And that's why, you know, like I say, we don't do to them what they do to us. We show compassion from afar. You never become like these people, because how you do one thing is how you do everything. Don't let that become a part of you. Just look at what happened to them. Look at what they become. And yes, you know, if you wonder deep down, they are very ashamed of it. You know, why do you think they hide it? Why do you think they deny it? They disown it. Why do you think they blame you? They are ashamed of what they become. 103 live viewers, give it a thumbs up if this has been good for you so far. I do apologize on everyone's behalf here for the distractions, the inconveniences. I try to make it the best that I can, the best experience for all of you. But you know, these people, they go through different transitions. You know, sometimes they do at least pretend to be good for a moment, even if it's just for a few seconds, until they realize that I'm not buying it. But typically, you know, when they see that I'm distracted, when I'm making videos, for example, they start to feel left out. They feel jealous. As you may know, you know, narcissists, they want to be your only source of influence. They want you to be influenced by them and no one and nothing else. And at the end, blame you for that as well. But yeah. Let me know if you've got any questions. You've got to understand, you know, these people, everything that you see from them, all of their behaviors, it's all the result of childhood abuse, childhood neglect. That's what it is. And this is why they so excessively seek validation in any possible way that they can. And they destroy anything that is a threat to that. And because of their arrested emotional development, there's no boundaries in childhood. So there's no respect for you. There's no development, no maturity. And you may feel like, you know, even prisoners on death row are getting better treatment than you do. That's because they don't idealize those people. But the narcissist is idealizing you. So that's really the difference there. And it's always been that way, you know, in wars. People will just forget about people's human rights. If they wanted something from them, it's like, all right, you're not a human anymore. And that's just what these narcissists are like. Miss Catcher, love. Brilliant statement there. She says they play games with your mind. Nothing they do is authentic. That's right, you know, whenever you believe that something they're doing is real, authentic, you're already losing. It will never be real. And I've done videos about this several years ago. The best you will ever get from a narcissist is manipulation. An illusion. They will never change, they will never grow, they will never be better, they will never be anything. Never. You will only ever see an illusion, a mirage. It will only ever be a misinterpreted perception, a coincidence, and they also align things with you. This is why they mirror you, to give you this altered perception as though something is actually happening. Something is gaining traction and momentum here, when it's not. It's an illusion. It could sometimes even be an auditory or even an optical illusion. There's nothing actually happening. Nothing is taking place. There is no growth, no healing, no change there. And there's never going to be. The change that you can make in 5 minutes, even if they had 1 million years on this earth, they would likely not even make that amount of change, that amount of growth, that amount of healing. It would likely never happen. And I don't get any satisfaction from saying that. Because honestly, I want the best for people, and I want everyone to heal and grow and become better. But for the majority of narcissists, it's just never going to happen. They don't even care about that. And that's what you all got to understand. So it will never be real. All of your hopes and dreams of something ever getting better, something ever changing, something ever being real, it will never be real. Even if it seems real, it's just an illusion. And this is the thing about it. Ew, yuck. It's disgusting, some of the things they do. They waited for me to turn around, and then as soon as I did, he just started wiping all the sweat off his face. Oh, they do this all day. And then sometimes they do these masturbation gestures and blowjob gestures and all this crazy stuff. Oh, it's absolutely disgusting. No self-respect. But yeah, I apologise for that distraction again on their behalf, because they can't do that, obviously. But yeah, this is the thing about it, is that, when they're faking it with you and it seems so arousing, it will never be that way, even if it was real, because that's not what real is like. Real isn't a drug. What's real in life doesn't have all of these emotional ups and downs, like an emotional roller coaster. All of this adrenaline, all of this trauma. That's not what real is. And it's not to say that once you heal that you don't feel good, that you don't get aroused, that you don't get excited. You do. Just not in that sort of way. To get all of this adrenaline, all of this trauma, it's really just you on your own. You're creating that by yourself, by overextending yourself, by pouring all of your energy into it. And they're just sitting back behind the mask and saying that that's them. But it's never going to be like that with them for real. It's only ever going to be fake, an illusion. And it's only ever going to be you who is sustaining it. Nurse LD says they chose the dark. They will do it to you before you do it to them. That's it. I mean, you could be on good terms with them. You may not be doing anything wrong, and they'll just come out of nowhere and do things to you. and even blame you for what they do. This is what they will do. And this is why you just have to be very careful around them. Layla says, sorry you're dealing with weirdos out there in the park today. This is why I avoid crowded areas on my walks. Unless I need groceries, I go to the forest or quiet waterside areas. Stay safe. Yeah, it's a bit of a pain. I mean, as you can probably hear, you know, they bring around all of these very loud bikes and modified cars. I just rev the crap out of them. Because they want you to overextend yourself, and the horns as well. They want you to overextend yourself. They want you to pour into them. You know, they come in and distract you, and then because, you know, they've entered your mind as a problem, then you're given whatever energy you were given already. You're then giving that to them, and that's how they build this connection and get you attached to them, attached to something that doesn't even exist. Because honestly, the real them, the real narcissist, there's nothing fun, there's nothing exciting about them. There's nothing that you would ever really desire about them at all. That's why they use all of these masks and illusions, because they're already aware of that. And yet the funny thing is that you weren't even looking for that anyway. You weren't even looking for all of this song and dance, you were just looking for something real. But they do this out of insecurity. Or they don't really believe that you could ever accept them, because the amount of things that they had to do to get the results that they wanted is nothing to be proud of anyway. But yeah, wherever I go, there's all of this chaos everywhere. Even if I go to a forest, it follows me there. And I put up some quite overt gang stalkers on my Instagram. Follow me on there if you haven't yet. It's Narc Survivor YouTube. So you can see a lot of it on there. But I know I don't really have to explain myself. I know many of you already know what's going on. You're not stuck in the fantasy like they are. You do see it for what it is. I mean, I've had so many hundreds of thousands of views already on my gang stalker videos. So I know so many people understand this already. And even the OG, Professor Sam Vakinin, he came out this year and validated that yes, gang stalking is real. So we've even got professionals saying this. So at this point, there is no doubt, you know, these people exist. And, you know, it's kind of funny how they still just try and blend in. They still try to live normal lives and act like they're not the criminals that they are. It's just crazy. It's like, but this is why they become more and more aggressive now, more and more antisocial. This is why this is happening to so many people these days, because they are struggling to live a normal life. They're unable to deal with the shame. You know, what I'd like to focus my attention on is this cat who has been quietly sitting next to me all this time. Let's just appreciate this cat for a moment. These gang stalkers, these narcissists, they're like absolute animals. They're so wild and aggressive, clearly never been disciplined in their childhood. But just look at how peaceful and calm this cat is. Just look at it. I don't know if it's a girl or a boy. Either way, it is such a lady or a gentleman. But you know, it takes strength to be like that. And that's just something that these people do not have. And that's how they end up provoking you. That's how they end up doing the things that they do to you. It's because they don't have that emotional strength. It's not so much about being physically strong. It's the emotional side of it. That's what they lack. And that's how everything is emotional with them. It's all about emotional manipulation, provocation. Ugh, I have to see all these people wiping their faces all the time. And they always make firm eye contact with me at the same time. It's disgusting. And then sometimes they they'll wait for me to look in their direction. And then as fast as they can, they'll like throw like something in their mouth. They just go like a monkey or something. It's crazy. This is what they do. But yeah, they're emotionally vulnerable. Let's just say that. I mean, and it's because they were not loved in childhood. No one ever loved or appreciated them. And this is why now they're emotionally weak, because they just weren't valued as a child. That's why they emotionally manipulate. That's why they emotionally abuse. Because someone who's strong doesn't need to do that. This is why they need all of this attention, validation, because they were never loved as a child. And now they come out and they use all of these masks and mirrors, and it's like, do you love me now? Do you love this mask now? But you or I, we don't have to do any of that. We could just be ourselves. We don't have to put on a show for anyone. They hate you for that. This is why they try to destroy everything that's real about you, because they know they're always going to be just a person stuck behind a mirror. There's never going to be any real connection between them and someone else. And it's because of the emotional trauma. And this is how it feels for us, you know, when they do these things to us, is that we begin to feel disconnected as well. But this is what it's like for them all of the time. They're always that way. And this is why anything to do with you and connection, vulnerability, even if it's just you by yourself or with someone else, they can't stand it, because they'll always be the person behind the mirror. They'll never get to have that feeling that you have. And now this cat is resting. I won't disturb it. You enjoy your rest. But yeah, I'm going to leave this one here because, you know, I know it's not anything that any of us want. No one wants these people. It's not our fault, you know, that they were not loved as children. It's not our fault that we can't love them now. You know, they're just too crazy, too aggressive, and like wild animals. So I'm going to end this one here. And to end it on a positive note for you, just wishing you peace. And don't worry, you're not doing anything wrong. They don't love themselves. They can't respect themselves. They don't even know who they are. And that's not your problem. You keep loving yourself. You keep taking good care of yourself. You keep respecting yourself. And if they got a problem with that, you just leave. You just walk away. And don't let them anywhere near you, because they're never going to learn to have any respect for themselves. And that's what you got to know. So yeah, let's end it with this positive message for you. Continue loving and respecting yourself, taking care of yourself. That's what we all need to do. And yeah, if this video is good for you, give it a thumbs up. Let's get it out there so others can see it as well. Share the video on social media. If you're new here, subscribe. And let me know what you think about the video. If you've got any thoughts on this. If you've got anything to add. Anything that you've experienced, any acts of disrespect. Any questions that you have for me. Drop it down below in the comment section. And for one-on-ones, you can book with me on my website, narcsurvivor.co.uk. Donations are greatly appreciated, no matter how small. You can donate by going to my PayPal, which is paypal.me/narcsurvivor. Follow me on Instagram, it is Narc Survivor YouTube. You can find my gang stalker videos on there too. And we do have a new Facebook group, it's Narc Survivor. Already got some videos on there. All right, one more. Just looking at the beauty of this park. The cats, the fish, the trees. This is something real. And that's how you really experience a deeper connection with yourself, is by being around what is real instead of what's just a distraction to who you are. So yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you all for joining me. I appreciate all of you. Thank you for your support. And I look forward to speaking with you in hopefully a more peaceful place in the next one.